up? Tyler from Plugged On. I'm here with a concert review. This time I'm going to talk about Gatecreeper, Exhumed, Necrot, and Judiciary. I saw this at the Chameleon Club, Lancaster, PA, November 15th, 2019, and what a tour. I mean, just talk about some heavy shit on this album, or on this tour. And obviously Gatecreeper's really been getting a lot of popularity. Exhumed is a legendary underground death metal band. They just put out a great new album that fortunately I didn't get to talk about, but Necrot's been really on a lot of big tours, big death metal tours recently, and Judiciary, at least to me, they're new, but looking at their, listening to some of their stuff on Spotify, I'm like, okay, these guys have a decent number of streams for a young band, so I assume that they have some fans out there as well. So cool for them to be on a tour like this. It's like when I saw Cannibal Corpse and Hate Eternal at the Chameleon Club last year, I think it was, in Harm's Way opened up. It's a hardcore band, but still there's some heaviness there, there's some crossover there that I think can be had. So anyways, getting into it, and then too, last thing I'll say, not a lot of tours like this come around my area, at least this close to me, but I feel this year there's been a number, and it's awesome to see. There's still some more shows at the Chameleon Club that I'm looking forward to going to, so that's just cool to see that stuff. You got to come out and support it when it's that local. So anyways, getting into it, Judiciary. I thought Judiciary was fantastic, and they had a lot of energy up there, and what I liked about them, they're more of a hardcore band, but it seems like they're very much about the riff, and I like that. And they had a lot of heavy sections, and they got up there and they played, and seemed like they were having a good time. And not everybody's going to be into them because this is a death metal tour. A lot of people coming to this tour are going to be death metal fans, and maybe haven't heard Judiciary. So I think it's good that they're on something like this, and I will certainly be checking them out. So yeah, that's all I really gotta say about Judiciary. I think they're good. I will certainly be checking them out. So then you get into Necrot. Necrot's fantastic. I saw them open up for the Black Dahlia Murder 2 years ago. I think it was the Black Dahlia Murder, Decrepit Birth, Suffocation, Necrot, and Worm Witch. What a great tour. So yeah. I was always wanting to see Necrot again, and their most recent album from 2017 is just a killer death metal album. So yeah, they opened up with The Blade, which I think is their most popular song. But man, yeah, I mean, it's always interesting sometimes when bands play like their most popular song early in the set, because it gets such a pop, or such a great thing to open with. But a lot of bands, want to save that song for the end. But opening up with The Blade, why not? That song it gets me every time when that riff first comes in, the whole band breaks in. It's one of the chunkiest death metal riffs I've ever heard during those verses, and then the vocals over top of it, it's so good. The whole song's amazing, really catchy as well. So yeah, then the other tracks they played off of Blood Offerings, which is most of their set, but Breathing Machine, Empty Hands, Rather Be Dead, Shadows and Light, which a lot of them are really good as well. So and then they played some older tracks, Rebirth and Chaos Scattered, and they ended on The Abyss. I haven't really listened to The Abyss too much as an album, so I really got to go check that one out, but at least hearing those other songs off of Blood Offerings was great to hear. Necrot's cool. They're so chill. I mean, they're literally up there just setting their own shit up. They're doing their own sound test, and then they're just like, all right, we had a good time when we were here last time. We've been wanting to come back. Let's go. And then boom, there they go. And they're just such a chill band to watch. Reminds me a little bit of Cannibal Corpse. Like Cannibal Corpse just walks out there and starts playing. They don't have an intro. They don't have anything fancy. It's just like, here we are. We're going to rip your face off. It's cool. Yeah, check out Necrot, because they're a really great band. So next up was Exhumed. I haven't seen Exhumed in a long time. I feel like this might have been the third time I've seen them. I know I saw them open up for Suffocation one year. That was probably 2013 or 14. It's been such a long time since I saw Exhumed. But their last album they just released this year, Horror, is great and has a lot of really great songs. And what they did on that album is they went back to just, most of those songs are 3 minutes or less. And, whereas, Death Revenge, for example, which was an album that I really liked from 2017. Like, they just meatier, chunkier songs, 3, 4, 5 minutes long. And so I think either way, Exhumed's just a great band, and they deliver some really good stuff. So nevertheless, they ended up playing a lot of songs, and most of them are just because a lot of them are shorter. And off their new album, I mean, they played Naked, Screaming, Covered in Blood, Playing with Fear, Radivus Cadavers, which is fantastic, Slaughter Maniac, The Red Death, those are really good. And of course they played Utter Mutilation of Your Corpse, which is just a hilarious song. They actually played it twice, because, that song's like 6 seconds long or something crazy. By the time it starts on Spotify, it's over in like the little bar at the bottom. If you're listening to Spotify, that says like, here's the song going, count down to the end or whatever. Like, it can't even catch up. It's already on the next song. But anyways, like, yeah, those songs I think go over really well live, and they sounded great. They did play Death Revenge and Defenders of the Grave, which I liked a lot. Necrocracy is another album that I really enjoyed. They played Coins Upon the Ice, which, that riff during the chorus just fucking rips. It's so good. And Dysmorphic, which was also good. And they played some older stuff as well. Deadest of the Dead, Torso. Yeah, and Exhumed is fun because not only I think that's the best way to describe them in a way. Like, they are probably one of the, if not the most fun death metal band to watch, because they just have a lot of interesting stuff going on. Not only do they just look like they're having a fucking blast up there playing, but at least here they had 2 screens, one on each side, and they were playing like different like horror movie trailers, like the Evil Dead, all stuff like that. So that was cool. But then of course they have the guy coming out on the stage with the chainsaw, and he's acting like he's cutting people's heads off, and they, of course, they bring out the head, squirting the blood and all sorts of stuff. So they kind of bring everything up a notch a little bit with some of those on stage antics, and production value a little bit, which is always fun to watch. And yeah, I like Exhumed a lot, but to me, I was here for Gatecreeper, just because this band has really, really grown on me a lot. And it's just, it's the riffs, it's the production, it's the heaviness, it's so good. And I really like their new album, Deserted, which I reviewed. I like their debut album a lot as well. So I was very much looking forward to seeing these guys. I feel like they delivered in, like, they, once again, like a Cannibal Corpse or Necrot, just a very stripped down sort of feel of, we're just here to play. And that's literally what they did. I mean, they got on stage, they're like, we're Gatecreeper from Arizona. And then they played probably 5-6 songs before they said anything else. Mastodon does that a lot as well. And, I just think for who they are and their sound, it works, because you're there to just experience the music and just have this wall of insanely heaviness just smack you straight in the face. And that's what happened. So their set was mostly new tracks, playing Sweltering Madness, Puncture Wounds, which is one of my favorites. That song was so cool to hear live, just because that main riff just rips. From the Ashes was great to hear. Ruthless, Barbaric Pleasures, Everlasting, let's see, I think I got most of them. Boiled Over, of course, their lead single off of that album. And I think all those songs just went over really well live. We got a lot of people going, banging their heads, because they work. And then in terms of some other tracks, of course, Craving Flesh, which I feel is like it's at least their biggest song off of their debut album. And, they played that very early in the set, which was awesome to hear. I just thought they would have ended with it, but what they ended with, I'm like, okay, this makes sense. They ended with Flamethrower, which was fucking awesome. They also played Desperation and Patriarchal Grip. But yeah, I mean, they were so loud in just perfect. The nearly perfect. The only thing I'll say, and it's just their sound, and their sound's very much, in my opinion, inspired by Obituary, bands like that, with that sort of vibe, and at least live, like Obituary is a fucking loud band live if you've ever seen them, and Gatecreeper's the same way, but they have a few parts where it's a little bit more melodic, like Boiled Over or From the Ashes, and I feel like it was just a little hard to have that lead guitar stand out a little bit. So that's the only thing I can really say about them. Otherwise, vocals were fantastic, played well. Yeah, they did it, and it was cool to watch, cool to see them, cool to see this tour and have it be so close to me. So that was awesome. So yeah, Gatecreeper, Exhumed, Necrot, Judiciary. Check all these bands out. Go see them live if they're coming around. And thanks for watching. See you later.